What's going on right now? We are in Milwaukee. They may say, why are you there? What's going on? Well, I'm here to do some video. If you didn't know, I do photography and other stuff other than just talk. I do other things. So I'm here doing an assignment pretty much. So I wanted to give everybody like an update on the police stuff, because obviously I was speaking about it and I didn't go further because I was still in the process. So here we are. I'll give you a slight update. I don't know if the camera is moving. Like I said, I'm not going to be at home, so I'm just going to upload this. It's not going to be many cuts at all. It's probably not going to be any. So hopefully I don't mess up as this video goes on. And it's on a little patio deck fence looking thing. So I'm scared, and I hope the thing doesn't fall. Because if it falls, the camera breaks. So I'll give you a slight update. For starters, I did my polygraph, right? And if you don't know what the polygraph is, it's a lie detector test. It's a different name for it. So I went to go take my polygraph test. And as I went, I looked it up a little bit. I'm like, all right, this is crazy. Like, it's easy. Why would people lie? Just tell the truth and you pass. But I kept hearing things how it doesn't really matter if you tell the truth. What matters is how you feel, like how nervous you are. So I'm like, that gotta be bull, right? These people don't know what they're talking about. So fast forward, I go to the polygraph test, and I'm prepared, right? I'm not lying about anything. So we go over like my whole background packet. You gotta fill out a packet once you apply. So it's like 32 pages. So me and the lie guy or the detective, we go over all of these pages, all 32, and he's asked me questions about it. All right, so is this true? Is this still true? I'm like, yeah. He said, so this did happen. This didn't happen. I'm like, yeah. How many tickets? You want to add any more? I'm like, no, I don't want to add anything. I'm just ready to go. So, and then they asked the questions of like, have you ever did any child stuff, viewed any child stuff? I'm not going to say it because we all know what it is, and it makes anybody uncomfortable. So yeah, they ask all these questions, and you're like, no, blah, blah, blah. So after you answer all of those questions, guess what? The test didn't even start yet. He moves you to the chair. So when you was answering all his questions, not hooked up by anything, you're like, okay, this is easy. Got it. I'm not nervous. I'm just talking to somebody. As soon as you sit in that chair, it's a different feeling. I don't care how tough you think you are, how prepared. As soon as you sit in that chair, it's a different feeling. It's like comfortable, almost too comfortable. So I sit in the chair, and I'm like, okay, this feels weird, but I'm good. Then they start hooking you up to different wires and whatnot. They put something on your hands. They put something on your chest, your stomach, your blood pressure on your arm. You got to stand on these things. Well, put your feet on these things so it's tracking something else. So now it becomes, okay, they're monitoring every single thing, right? My breath, my blood pressure, how I react, the way I move my feet when I'm answering a question. They're monitoring all of that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I know I'm not going to be lying about anything, but this is crazy. So the test begins, right? And before the test actually begins, he says, all right, these are the questions I'm going to ask you, so you're not going to be caught off guard, right? It's not going to be like, oh, you did it? No, it's not going to be that. You're prepared, right? So you know what he's going to ask you, but you don't know the order. So the test begins. And as soon as he said, test begins, I'm telling you, I never took so many deep breaths in my life. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's get it. That's how I am. He even told me, hey, you gotta stop breathing so much. Like, you can't keep doing the deep breaths. I'm like, sorry, sir. So the test begins, and already, boom, 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 boom. I'm super nervous. He asks me a question. You ever did this? No. But then before that starts, he actually says like, are there lights on in this room? Yes. Is your name such and such? Yes. Are the room lights on? Yes, sure. So the test begins. Hey, is your name Tyree? Yes, it is. Are the lights on? Yes. Then it gets to the questions, right? So it said, I remember a few questions, right? One question was, did you falsify anything on the application? Meaning, did you just falsify anything on the application? Remind you, it's 32 pages. No, why would you falsify anything? They have to go over it. They have to verify everything that you put on there. So I'm like, no. Said other things, and I'm like, all right, this is easy. Tell me why. After we get done with the test, he says, testing is complete. Remind you, he asked me these questions, like, we went through it like 3 or 4 times. You know, you take like a 2-minute break, and then he asks you the same questions again in a different order. So remind you, after this time, I'm like, all right. So he's like, he takes off all the stuff, and he goes, well, are you like holding back anything? I'm like, no, I just told you everything. He said, well, when it comes to like the question, did you falsify anything on the application, it's like you kind of reacted strongly. And he showed me the screen. First of all, I don't even know what I'm looking at. But if you don't know what you're looking at, automatically you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is bad. Like the lines was all up. I'm like, oh snap, like, dang, but I wasn't lying about anything. Like, I didn't falsify anything. So he was like, do you have anything you want to add? Do you want to add anything to this? I'm like, no. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, like, I'm thinking. He said, so why would you react like this? And I'm like, well, honestly, it's 32 pages going over my entire life. You want me to remember every single thing. So maybe, just maybe, I reacted because I was thinking about it. Like, oh my gosh, did I add everything? So maybe that was it. So he said, okay. And he said, well, that's all. And I'm going to have to talk to your background investigator because we got to see what he want to do. Pretty much, does he want to continue? Or does he want you to just be out because this lie detector test isn't good for you? Like, it's not looking good. So I left that building. Heartbroken. I'm like, oh my gosh. I wasn't lying about anything, like, whatsoever. I wasn't lying. I was telling the complete truth. So once he said that, I'm like, okay, is this it? Like, I felt like I put so much into it, so I'm like, is this it? And then if we fast forward a little bit, maybe 1 month, right? Already I'm thinking I'm out, right? I was gonna make a video about it, right? Because I'm thinking I'm out. So honestly, I was about to hit record. This is a month later. I'm about to hit record, and I was gonna talk about, damn, you know, I failed the polygraph. I'm out. Promise you. I had this random feeling like, no, don't record a video about that. Just don't do it. Like, relax. And then I didn't even feel comfortable talking about it. And I think I went on to record something else. I'm not sure. I went on to record something else. So I went to sleep and I woke up very next day. And later that evening, I get a call from my background investigator. And he was like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm thinking I'm about to get the news. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I said, how's everything? Everything is everything. He says, well, it looks like I'm gonna have to reschedule you for your polygraph. So in my mind, I'm like, what? I get another chance? But I didn't get too hype. I'm like, oh, really? He said, yeah, it's like, oh, I just hit a plane. He was like, yeah, it's, you passed everything on it. You passed everything, every question, but the background stuff. I'm like, I said, sir, how does that really make sense? Like, the other questions were like, are you telling the truth on this whole, like, are you telling the truth to me? And I'm like, yes. How did I pass that question? But at the same time, did you falsify any documents or whatever on your application? I say, no. How is that considered a lie when the other question is, am I telling the truth? And I passed that. So I was confused. I'm like, all right, this doesn't make sense. So we reschedule. We reschedule the test. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to take it again. So we reschedule. And I go in to take the test, and already I'm super nervous. I'm like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, I told the truth before. Now I gotta convince these people that I'm still telling the truth and that I'm not still lying, but I was never lying. So I go in, take it, I sit down. It's like the same process. This time it's a little bit different because we go over the packet again, but this time it's certain things on my application that he's going over and that he's touching up on. Like this job. So you worked here. I'm like, yeah, this happened. I'm like, yeah, so you got in trouble for this before. Yeah, shoplifting as a kid. But yeah, he still put it down. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, all of that's still true. So, like I said, I didn't feel the need to lie about anything. I'm literally telling these people, yeah, I shoplift when I was a kid, and I got caught by the police, but it wasn't no reports or anything. I was never arrested. And so, yeah, I told them all of that stuff that, honestly, it would be hard to find. They probably would find a way to find it, maybe not. But adding it is showing you that I'm giving it all to you. So we go through the process, and then we do the same thing. He says, these are the questions I'm going to ask you, but this time is mainly background focused. So I go sit in a chair. He wires me up. Soon as he says test begins, I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Did you falsify anything on your background? No. And I'm like still taking these deep breaths. I'm like, he's like, well, did you do this and that? I'm like, no. Are you telling the truth? Yes. And then we take a break. In my mind, I said, yo, I think I'm gonna fail this test again. Why? Because like I'm too nervous. I gotta relax. I'm too freaking nervous about this joint. I'm not ready. So, as we was in that little break, I was completely, like somehow I became completely at peace. I started praying too. And I became so calm. Like beyond measurement of calmness. And he said, test begin. And instead of I was like, no. Are you telling the truth? Yes. Did you do this? No. I was so sure of myself, right? And it felt like, even though I knew I wasn't lying before, it was like this time it was so, okay, I'm ready to answer these questions. So, at the end of the test, we kept doing it, and each time, I'm sure that's probably loud, but each time I became more calm. So at the end of the test, he takes off the wires and he says, alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and walk you to the front. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to the table and I grab like my wallet and everything. And I just said, man, I gotta just ask him like, what's going on? So I say, hey, how did I do? He said, how do you think you did? I was like, honestly, I think I did good. He said, why do you feel that way? And his stern face. I'm like, well, because I felt calm. I felt more prepared for this. And he said, okay. He said, well, did I talk to you like I did last time? And then he had like this little smirk on his face. Like this. Did I talk to you like I did last time? And I was like, stop playing. He said, what? I said, stop playing. He said, well, did I talk to you? I was like, no. He said, okay. I was like, yo, stop doing this. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. He said, what I'm doing? He kept that smile on his face. Let me tell you this. Long story short, I got an email from the psychological part saying I need to set up an appointment for my psychological. So, yes, I passed that polygraph. And I went on to take the psychological. First of all, that was scary. I know this video might be kind of long. I'm not sure. But who cares? We're just going to record. It's not even going to be a thumbnail for this, right? Because, like I said, I don't have my computer. I have nothing. I'm literally just going to be recording about this police experience. So I take the I set up the appointment for the psychological. And of course, I'm scared of this one. This one is crazy. Like, I keep hearing, it's like 600, 1,000 questions on this. And sometimes, man, I failed. How could I fail? So, my test was going to be over Zoom, and it was. So the whole time, man, I was nervous. Super nervous. To be honest, the night before, didn't sleep. Couldn't. I was so pressed about this test. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I scheduled it for 12 o'clock just to try, because I know me, I'll be like, all right, if I get up at 10, I'm going to be super nervous because I'm going to have to get up like at 8 o'clock just to prepare. But 10 o'clock, no one's sleeping until 10 o'clock. All right, let's be honest. If you do, you do. You're a night owl somehow. Anyway, 12 o'clock comes. But no. 11:30 comes. My, the lady, she emails me and she says, hey, Tyree, I'm going to be 15 minutes late for our session. So I'm like, okay. In my mind, because I don't trust any of this process no more. I mean, I trust it, but like, you don't know what they're trying to do. So in my mind, no, I don't believe this. I'm showing up to that room, that little chat room in Zoom at 12 o'clock. You're not fooling me. Matter of fact, I was there at 11:55 waiting. It said waiting. So I'm there. The time is now 12:10. I'm like, yeah, she's probably watching me right now. Like I'm not gonna get a pick in or anything. I'm not gonna get up and go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna be on my phone. Like, I'm just gonna sit here because she's watching me. Like, this is a part of the test. 12:15 comes, still not there. 12:17 comes. It says the session is about to begin or something. Like, she is waiting for her to enter the chat or the session. So, yes, as I waited there for no reason. It was just me overthinking the whole situation. I just waited there looking like a bot with my dress shirt on. I still put on a dress shirt. Yes, I had on the pants. I wasn't going to be lazy and wear like the underwear with the dress shirt just in case. So yeah, I'm just sitting there like this, just ready. Anyway, it begins. She tells me the rules. She says, all right, well, I'm going to send you 2 emails. It's going to be 2 different tests. Doesn't really matter which one you take first. She said, I think it's like 100 questions. In my mind, I'm like, everybody been saying this a lot. It's like 700 plus. So I'm like, all right, 100. I ain't say it to her, but I'm like, okay, good. Clicked on the first one. I'm answering all the questions. Every time you answer a question, the bar moves, right? The bar moves more and more. So I get to question 50, and I notice the bar was not moving whatsoever. It was like a little bit. I was like, okay, well, it's probably like a glitch. I get to question 90, I'm like, all right, why is this almost in the same spot as the one that was 50? I get to 100, I'm like, all right, well, I guess this is going to be the last question. By the time I got to 120, I'm like, okay, I think that was part of the test also. That first test was 300 and something questions. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, and I'm already drained. I'm drained. And they're asking you all these questions like, well, what do you prefer? Burning in a building or drowning on a boat? Do you prefer to be lost at sea for 24 hours or have a stomach flu for a week? Like, those were the type of questions, and you had to answer it accordingly. It wasn't any crazy questions on the first test. So I get through the first one, and I tell her, I'm like, all right, I'm about to go to the next one. She said, okay. So I go to the next test. This one is way more different. It's like, did you ever steal before? Yeah, sure. Have you ever been arrested? No. Did you do this, that? No. Then randomly, do you think about killing yourself? I'm like, what? No. All right, let's go. It's like it went back down. Do you have a favorite color? I'm like, yeah. Do you see people when they're really not around, but everybody don't see them, but only you see them? What the hell? No. Well, do you like swimming in the water? Did you ever think about killing yourself yesterday? What in the hell? Like, it started getting crazy out of nowhere. It literally started getting insane, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is wild to me. So we went through that whole process, right? I got to the end, answer every single question, and then becomes the interview portion. And remind you, I've been taking this test for about 3 hours. She's interviewing me, and she's asking me like about this and that, what made me answer like this, saying that you have like a outgoing personality, but at the same time, and she asked me, she said, well, do you feel like other people would find that to be like too much? I said, well, I don't, maybe. I said maybe, but I said really, I don't feel like that way, because people, I feel like I know how to speak to people, and it's like, I'm never gonna try to come across to be like obnoxious, like super annoying to you. Like, I know when to stop talking, except for in this video, obviously, because freaking I don't know how long I've been talking. But yeah, so we go through all of that, and then she asks me like a serious question. She was like, do you know what the bad side of being a police officer? And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, you're gonna have to deal with people not gonna like you, blah blah blah. And she said, yeah, all of that sounds nice, all of that sounds like, but do you really understand what really can happen being a police officer? And she said, I don't want, she said, because anybody could know like they got to deal with certain things, but do you know what really comes with it? Because that is like the separation right there. That is how people join this career, and they become surprised, and as soon as they get like a taste of it, they're out. They're like, oh, okay, I don't want to do this. And I said, yeah. She said, explain. I said, well, honestly, death will be the first one, right? Because every day you're gonna have to deal with that possibility, putting stress on your loved ones, you know, or even friends. people that didn't even ask for these type of feelings, you're forcing it upon them because of this decision that you want to do, that you decided to do. Now they have to deal with worrying every night. Like, are you going to make it home safe? I don't know. So dealing with that is like, that's a terrible side. And I said a few other things, and she said, that's what I needed to hear. Because you have so many people that when I ask them that question, they don't know how to answer it, because they really don't know. So after that, she said, well, you know, we're done and I'll get a result later. Like, she's going to contact my background investigator with the report. And that was the last step I did so far. My background investigator actually contacted me yesterday. He's very cool. About some references. I need 2 more, right? Because 2 didn't respond and 3 did. So I got to get 2 more. And he said something about he's going to like submit it. So if I heard it right, I believe, could be wrong, I don't know. I believe that I'm near the end. I know it's something like a command interview at the end that you would still have to do, and like medical. But yeah, so far I think I am near the end. Do I think I have it? I don't know. But I just wanted to give y'all like a quick update. Well, it's not a quick update, right? We gotta be honest, it wasn't a quick video. But yeah, maybe y'all found that story a little entertaining, I'm not sure. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And like I said, I'm gonna keep y'all updated with the process. I'm gonna be contacting my background investigator Monday. I'll land back in Virginia Tuesday. So from there, I'll definitely try to make another video, and whether it's about this or something else, just make one. I feel like I'd be taking these long breaks for no reason. Granted, my mind has been everywhere trying to, you know, deal with this and other things. But yeah, that's the update. And honestly, the video is not just going to stop. You're going to see me click the record button to stop it. It's going to be that awkward thing with the stare in the camera as you clicking it. So I just want y'all to be prepared for that. I'm look, but anyway, definitely comment, and let's discuss anything y'all want to discuss, any questions. And yeah, so here's the awkwardness. Be ready. If you made it this far, thank you. All right, here we go.